What is going on, guys? Did it versus all gaming with my review of Sword Art Online Season 2 Episode 16. And this episode, it was actually pretty simple for the most part, and we actually done something rather interesting. And so the episode itself, it starts off with you. She pretty much gives this like she pretty much explained, how Quest works, and what happened is, like, whatever core or system that Elio goes by, they actually analyze real world events and they generate quest on that. And so pretty much what the quest is now, it's pretty much something pretty freaking huge, because like this right here is what you call a final war. And with these two conflicting conflicts, if this guy here, this king and his people win, then they could possibly wipe LAO off the map, because that right there, it's like how the system works. Because eventually, like this king, he, like, him and his people, those like Titan looking creatures that we saw attack those elephant octopus breeds, eventually they will actually attack the world tree, and they'll bring that down, and that right there could wipe out this game off the map. So now this war, it is definitely like much bigger, and obviously like Kirito and the crew, they have to go in there and stop it. And so we see now that when they enter the dungeon, they're already at like their first boss battle, and we see now that the first two bosses, I guess, even though they like count as one boss, it is still two enemies. And we see now that one was like this black minotaur, it was like chilling in the back. But we did see some kind of like aura or something around it, and we had this like yellowish minotaur who was like protecting it, because we saw that every time they would try to hurt the black one, this yellow one, it would protect it, like how we caught Sinon's arrow right in his hand, and obviously it crushed it, because that right there was not going to do anything to it. But we see now that like this yellow minotaur, that thing had a lot of health. It was taking hits for days, and so we see that eventually they had no choice, because their little damage could do anything. And obviously because none of them were a black mage, and they didn't have a high enough magic, they had no choice but to bring out their sword skills. And so we see now that at one point, this like yellow minotaur, it was actually wiping the floor with them, and they lost like a ton of health. And here's like where I had kind of like a little problem with it, because we have Asuna. This girl was like a massive threat and SAO, because she was definitely a very good swordsman, and for some reason now she's like falling onto the healer role, and I don't know why, because to me it annoys me, because her talents right now, they are going to waste. You would think a character like, what's her name, Silica, I believe, that little girl, you would think that like she'll be the one to be a healer, because even though she has that dragon, we all know that like that little dragon and her, they are not that strong. So I don't get why they're like wasting Asuna's skills on healing when she could be like a pretty good major threat when it comes to fighting. It just boggles my mind. But we do see that like because of her magic, she was like able to heal them. But at this rate, she's gonna run out of MP in like 3 minutes. No, yeah. I think like 2 minutes and then 30 seconds, and of course they're like running low on time, because those Titans and the other players, they are going out there and killing those creatures, and they really didn't have that much time left. I thought that maybe they'll have like a lot of time, but eventually at the most they have like an hour. So obviously it's definitely not looking that good. But eventually they bring out the sword skills, and even though they look really cool, I will say though that Klein, him in that fire, that right there was awesome. But of course we have Kirito, showing off like in front of everybody, because Kirito, of course he's the main character, so his sword skills will be the best. And we see now that because of that, he actually like what was the one to do the most damage. And even when even after those other players were like frozen, we see now that like Kirito was still fighting. Like one of her swords now, like apparently it could like channel the fire element, and the other one uses the ice, and you like combine them and do like a ton of damage. And even though all of them work together so well, and that Minotaur were like difficult to dying, we see now that he had like what 1% left, and he had like the evilest grill on his face. He was definitely, you know, about to attack Kirito. But we have Asuna doing what she does best, and that right there is kicking butt as she came in there, you know, as she came in there and fending off that beast. And so eventually, you know, when the other one died, we had the black one get up, but he would not attack for some reason, because obviously, you know, that one was much weaker. But for some reason, you know, the black one, that black minotaur, you know, that right there was like the real boss. And they did defeat that, you know, with no problem. And so we learned that this dungeon, it is made out of 3 floors, and obviously, you know, there's a boss on every floor. And so we've seen now that, you know, they had an hour left before they failed the quest, because obviously, you know, those are frost giant like minions, I guess you could say, they were not gonna last that long, because I believe that, you know, at the end of the episode, like over 70% of that medallion, you know, turned black already. So obviously it's not looking good. But we see now that they skipped the second floor entirely. We have no idea what happened on that one, but obviously, you know, they did clear it. But when we go to the third level boss, it was like this spider, like it was like this spider mechanical spider centipede, or something like a mechanical spider centipede kind of thing. And we see now that at one point we had Silica. She actually came in there, and when I saw her attack, I thought maybe that like she would actually, you know, finish the boss off, and that right there would have like definitely surprised me. But of course, no, we have Kirito coming in there. And of course, you know, when he attacked, that right there killed the boss. Now, what it should have did was like give a character, you know, they were a chance to shine, because obviously, you know, Simica, Elizabeth, those two are definitely not the most popular characters, or, you know, at least well known. And so if they could have, you know, took out some bosses, then that right there would have definitely gave them, you know, like a much bigger rep. But that right there was not the case. And eventually, you know, after they got to take out this boss, they got to move on to the last floor. And eventually we see now that while they were walking, we had this like one girl who was locked away in his ice cage. And of course, you know, she wanted to be freed, and she asked for their help. And everybody, you know, said that it was a trap and wanted to ignore her. But like Klein here, he could not do that. You know, he could not lead the girl here, and that was thing, you know, I applaud him for. Like Klein is definitely, you know, the real MVP, especially of the episode, because he actually went there and saved this girl. And even though, you know, they all thought it was a trap, that right there was like not the case, because obviously we learned more about this girl at the end. So after they had freed her, this girl, you know, was like expressing her gratitude as she hugged Klein. And like when he felt her breast, you know, up against him, we have Kirito saying something stupid like, "Don't give you any ideas." Like how in the world is Daryl gonna give her any ideas? It's not like, you know, she's gonna grow right there, you know, get some tips and then hug Kirito. That right there is not gonna happen. So I don't know why in the world Kirito would say that. But eventually, you know, they all move on, and they come across this room that's like filled with like all this gold and treasure. And I will say that right there, you know, was like a lot of stuff. And so eventually, you know, like after I forgot that before they open the room, we see now that like Asuna, she had used some spell. I don't know what it did, but I'm guessing like it gave her some buffs. And the girl that they got brought along, I believe her name was like Freyja, yeah, like Freyja or Freyja, something like that. She used this one spell as well, because she has some high EMP, and that spell that like she cast, it greatly gave them, you know, a boosted HP. So hopefully, you know, Asuna can learn that spell, because if she's gonna play that healer role, then obviously, you know, she can use that. But eventually, when they are in the room with all that gold, we have the king, and this guy is freaking massive. This guy's a giant. And so, you know, it's like really no wonder why this guy is in charge of all those Titan people, because this guy is freaking huge. And he actually tried to persuade Kirito on them, saying that like if he tells them where that frost giant is, you know, the one that originally gave him this quest, then the nigga take any amount of gold, you know, from this room. and that right there I will call BS on, because if that guy would not give up that sword, then why in the world would he give up his own treasure? See, to me it makes no sense. But of course, you know, they decline anyway, and he actually notices that the girl Freyja is now out of her cage. So though he thinks that like she's here to actually marry him, and of course there's no way that the girl will do that, and so she actually came here. You know, like at first she had came here, you know, claiming to want to marry him, but you know, some of the guards they had caught her sneaking around, you know, to get the treasure room. So what he did to punish her, you know, he had threw her into this into the ice cage. So that right there explains why she's there. But her real purpose is now, you know, to take back what he stole, and that right there I'm going to get to that sword. So until now that we know that like she is no trap, that right there is definitely a good thing, and so right now I'm definitely happy to see that like she is on their side, and I do hope that, you know, after this is all over, she can teach, you know, Asuna some new what's it called, you know, some new spells. But I'm trying to recall if that girl it's one of the sisters that the Frost Giant mentioned, but I'm guessing it's not, because that girl is like clearly, that girl right there is clearly an elf, and so she like definitely not a giant, so maybe it's not her. But you know, it is good though that they have like another healer there, because her spells, they are clearly, you know, on a much different scale than like Asuna. And so pretty much now, because, you know, Kirito and them won't accept the guy deal, and they're now gonna fight him. We see now that this guy he threw a punch, and we see now that like he zoomed in on Kirito's eye, and that was there before the episode ended. And so the episode itself is like by no means is it bad, but I do wish that we could have saw more of the boss fights. You know, even you know, in a quick glimpse at the boss on level 2 would have been something, you know, rather than like nothing at all. But the episode itself, it wasn't bad. So right now I think I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. But of course I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. And as always, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because it really helps me out. And you guys take it easy. I will see you all next time.